Hello kids. Today we are talking about adding and subtracting signed numbers. Think about signed numbers just as positive and negative numbers. Positive numbers have positive signs, even though we often write positive numbers without actually putting a positive sign in front of them, whereas negative numbers have negative signs. So 3, 7, and 11 are all positive numbers, and -2, -6, and -9 are all negative numbers. When it comes to adding and subtracting signed numbers, let's break down the three possible combinations we could face when we have two signed numbers. First one is two positive numbers. Second is two negative numbers. Third is one positive number and one negative number. Let's tackle adding numbers for these three combinations. Positive plus positive equals positive. The trick is, add the numbers, keeping the sign positive. For example, 5 plus 4 is 9, and 12 plus 3 is 15. Second is negative plus negative equals negative. The trick is, add the numbers as if they were both positive, but make the sign negative. -3 plus bracket -4, first multiply signs plus and minus, we get minus, then add them, we get -7. -10 plus bracket -1 equals -11. Third is positive plus negative or negative plus positive. When we add one positive number and one negative number, we want to start by considering their absolute values. The result will be positive if the absolute value of the positive number is larger, but negative if the absolute value of the negative number is larger. For instance, if we're trying to add -7 and 4, we want to instead first consider absolute -7 equals 7 and absolute of 4 is 4. So 7 is larger than 4, but 7 was originally the negative number, so the absolute value of the negative number is larger, in this case. The trick is to find the absolute value of both numbers, and subtract the absolute value of the smaller number from the absolute value of the larger number. The sign of the answer will be the original sign of the number whose absolute value is larger. Here is the first example. Here, the negative number is -4 and the positive number is 3. 4 is larger than 3, so the absolute value of the negative number is larger, which means the answer will be negative. So we subtract 3 from 4 and get 1. The sign needs to be negative, so we get -1. In second example, here, the negative number is -1, and the positive number is 10. 10 is larger than 1, so the absolute value of the positive number is larger, which means the answer will be positive. So we subtract 1 from 10 and get 9. The sign needs to be positive, so we get 9. If the positive number and the negative number are opposites, the answer is 0. 3 plus -3 equals 0. -10 plus 10 equals 0. Let's tackle subtracting numbers for the same combinations we considered for addition. Positive minus positive. When we subtract one positive number from another, the result will be positive if the first number is larger, but negative if the second number is larger. In first example, here, the first number is 3 and the second number is 4. Since 4 greater than 3, the second number is larger, so the result is negative. In second example, here, the first number is 10 and the second number is 1. Since 10 greater 1, the first number is larger, so the sign of the result is positive. If the two positive numbers are equal, the result is 0, such that 3 minus 3 equals 0. Second one is negative minus negative. When we subtract one negative number from another, the result will be positive if the first number is larger, but negative if the second number is larger. In this context, the larger number refers to the number further right on a number line. For instance, the number -2 is to the right of -6 on the number line, so -2 is the larger number. Example 1. Here, the first number is -3 and the second number is -4. Since -3 greater than -4, the first number is larger, so the result is positive. Example 2. Here, the first number is -10 and the second number is -1. Since -1 greater than -10, the second number is larger, so the sign of the result is negative. If the two negative numbers are equal, the result is 0. Notice that the effect of subtracting a negative number is that the two negative signs cancel. Third combination is positive minus negative equals positive. When we subtract a negative number from a positive number, the result will always be positive, because of the fact that the negative signs will cancel, leaving just the addition of two positive numbers. Examples are 3 minus bracket minus 4 equals 3 plus 4 equals 7. 10 minus bracket minus 1 equals 10 plus 1 equals 11. On the other hand, negative minus positive equals negative. When we subtract a positive number from a negative number, the result will always be negative. Minus 3 minus 4 equals minus 3 plus bracket minus 4 equals minus 7. Minus 10 minus 1 equals minus 10 plus bracket minus 1 equals minus 11. Here's a summary of our findings. First is positive plus positive equals positive. Second is negative plus negative equals negative. Positive plus negative equals positive if the absolute value of the positive number is larger than the absolute value of the negative number. It is equal to negative if the absolute value of the negative number is larger than the absolute value of the positive number. It is equal to 0 if the numbers are equal. Fourth one is negative plus positive equal to positive if the absolute value of the positive number is larger than the absolute value of the negative number. It is equal to negative if the absolute value of the negative number is larger than the absolute value of the positive number. It is equal to 0 if the numbers are equal. Fifth one is positive minus positive equals positive if the first number is larger. Negative if the second number is larger, and 0 if the numbers are equal. Sixth is negative minus negative equals positive if the first number is larger. Negative if the second number is larger. 0 if the numbers are equal. Seventh is positive minus negative equals positive. And eighth and last one is negative minus positive equals negative. Keep in mind that when we add signed numbers, the order of the numbers doesn't make a difference, as shown in examples given below, but if we subtract signed numbers, the order of the numbers always matters, as given below. I hope that everyone will understand this topic. If you find it informative, share it with your friends. Don't forget to like and subscribe.